Alright, let's go ahead and start modeling this plane here. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is hit Alt W. I'm going to go to my front viewport here. I'm going to go down to up to my standard primitives. We are going cylinder. I'm going to turn on my auto grid here, and I'm going to go ahead and just auto grid right on to plane here. Here's an interesting thing. Notice we are actually looking at the back of the plane. So I'm actually gonna to make things easy on us, I'm gonna actually take all these, and I'm actually gonna rotate them around 180. Now we're actually looking at, I believe, the front of the plane, right? And let me switch this. There we go. Now we are actually looking at the front of the plane. Yeah, see, there's the front of the plane. This is the front viewport, and this is our right. I'm going to switch this to left. There we go. And we are ready to rock and roll. Alright, so basically I got a cylinder here, and you know, if it makes it easier on us, I'm going to go ahead and resize that cylinder. So I'm going to go Alt W. I'm going to go to Modify. Now my cylinder is selected. I'm going to go to Modify. We're going to turn this to 8 sides, and we are going to change this to 3 in height. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep up this this plane right here, or this geometry. So I'm going to convert that to a poly. As you can see, it's a poly. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete this face. And I could go on this side, but I'm going to just click it from inside there and delete it. Alright, so we have our cylinder ready to go. As you can see, it's 8 sides because we can easily symmetry this afterwards. As you can see, we can easily grab half of it. Remember, we usually build things that look symmetrical. We just worry about 1/2 and then always symmetry it or duplicate it. Alright, so I'm going to actually take this, you know, cylinder here, and I'm going to move it right in the center. And I'm actually going to center it right up to the nose. You can see where it, you know, basically the crosshairs right there. Alright, and then the left, I'm going to actually move this up and match right about the nose right there. So something like that. Alright, now from here we're going to start shaping this up. Now, check this out. If I, as you can see, I'm looking from the, you know, the front. This is the actual, yeah, top right here. If you notice, my cylinder here, if I have it selected. If I hit Alt X, it basically puts in an X-ray form, so you can see right through it. So you'll probably be going in and out of that a lot. And you know, if you want, you can pick any color. If you want to change the color or whatnot. I'm actually going to change my lines to black though. So my edges. Oops. First of all, I'm going to actually pick a color, which I hit my M key to get the materials. And you know what? I'm usually used to putting gray down, but I'm going to go ahead and put like say like a green. And then I'm just going to drag that right on there. And then of course my lines will be black. That's fine. And then if I Alt X-ray, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to keep that on X-ray. So I'm going to go Alt X. Now my next step here is we're going to start shaping this up. So I'm right here, and I'm going to let you see in the perspective here. I'm going to grab these 4, or you know, I'm just actually going to highlight all the way through. So make sure ignore back facing is not checked, right? So I'm going to highlight through, and if you hit your scale tool, which by the way is right here. Remember your WER, you can shuffle through. So W is your move, E rotate, R scale. So I'm going to highlight right here, scale that in, and as you can see, I'm just kind of matching the top here, and I'm going to scale those in just a bit. And at the same time, if you look at my top here, we're going to eventually match that up a little bit more. But now I'm going to actually take certain verts, the bottom two here, and I'm actually going to meet that. I'm just pulling those down to kind of match up the drawing here. And don't worry about getting too detailed. We can match this right about there. That's fine because we got that little air duct right under the propeller. Alright, now from here on the top, I'm going to go ahead and take these verts. I'm not going to uniform scale it in. I'm going to actually take it from the X axis and just drag it in. So we're kind of skinnying it up a little bit. And there we go. We're at a good starting point. And as you can see, our front looks pretty good. And then if we walk around our plane, on perspective, you can see we're kind of matching up. Alright, so that's a pretty good starting point. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this border here. The border's the back end because it's an opening. Remember, we deleted it. And we're just going to shift drag all the way down. Now remember, we're not going to build the canopy. We're not going to build that. We're just going to go right through. And right over here, we're not going to build this fuse air duct, I should call it. And we're just going to go right through all the way to at least this point right here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start shift dragging this down. So I'm paying attention to my left here. At the same time, I'm letting you guys see my perspective. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and shift drag right there. As you can see, it's right in front of the canopy. This would be the canopy part. Alright, I'm going to continue and shift drag. I'm going to go right about here. Normally I go this line right there, but I'm going to align it up to about right where that fuselage break is. I don't know if you see my mouse right there. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and shift drag it again, and we're going to go to the back of the canopy. I'm going to shift drag it again to about right there. Alright, now from here I'm going to go ahead and take my vertexes, my vertexes, and then I'm going to start using my move tool. I'm going to grab the top three verts and just kind of position them slightly down. Grab these ones, I'm going to pull them down. We'll grab those three, pull them down, and then these I'm going to bring down right about there. Alright, now also right here, these bottom two I'm going to kind of tuck up under here. And we're going to start evening out these verts here. Alright, and I may just grab a few here and just kind of position them. The idea is to kind of spread out your verts a little bit, even them out somewhat. Actually, I better keep those where they're at. Alright, that looks pretty good. Now, based off the top, by the way, I hit Alt W, I'm going to kind of scale these in a bit. So I'm taking those and I'm getting my scale tool, go on my X axis, just kind of slightly tapering this off. Alright, that looks pretty good. As you can see in our perspective, I went Alt W by the way, we're just kind of walking around. If I hit Alt X, you can see we're starting to shape the plane out. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take my border again, and we're going to shift drag this. Make sure you got your border selected. I'm going to hit my W key, which is move. Hold down shift. I'm going to actually shift to about right here. I'm going to shift and match that line right there, and then I'm going to shift, drag, and about right there. Alright, now from here, let's start taking our vertexes. So I'm going to hit Alt W so you can see what's going on. Alright, I'm going to start grabbing these verts and just slowly match them up to match the plane, the contour of the plane. move these in slightly. I'm going to raise this up a bit. Let's go ahead and grab some of these and just raise them up. I'm going to take these ones right here, this vert, and just kind of position it right there. And I'm going to take this and just kind of bring it towards the plane. Alright, now, so I got the shape here. Same time, I'm going to go to the top, and let's kind of grab these and scale them in on the x-axis. So I'm going to my top, and I'm grabbing the x-axis, and I'm just kind of skinnying this up, tapering it off. Now don't worry if it doesn't, if our reference image is kind of off slightly. That's okay. We can easily grab our top plane there, or geometry, and we can just kind of align that just so we can get a better look of it. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Alright, I'm going to go to my perspective and just kind of walk around. I'm hitting Alt X. Whoops. Let me select the geometry here. Hit Alt X so we can see what's going on. Alright, things are looking pretty good. Alright, from this step here, from here on, what I'm going to do now is take my border, and I'm going to delete these top portions of our geometry right there. I'm just going to hit the delete key. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to start shift dragging some edges. We're going to basically edge loop the tail. Alright, we're going to go ahead and continue our model here. We're going to we're going to start building up the tail. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my edges. I'm going to grab this edge and this edge, and I'm going to hide unselected so you can see what I'm grabbing. I'm hitting Alt W. I'm actually grabbing these outside edges right here. And the idea of what we're doing is we're going to shift drag up like that. So I'm going to Control Z. Let's bring back our references. And I'm hitting Alt W and going to our left view. Alright, so I'm going to make sure I have those edges selected, which they're right there. And by the way, I just Control Z because I remembered from grabbing them from before. Alright, so I'm actually going to shift drag up, say about 1, 2, and I'll go 3. And I'm going to hit Alt X so you can see right through. Alright, from here I'm going to take those verts and I'm going to kind of grab those two. Now remember, when I'm highlighting verts like this, like when I'm saying I'm grabbing those 3, I'm actually just grabbing the 3 that I'm grabbing. You're seeing me grab the 3 in front, but technically I'm grabbing all 6 behind, or that's actually going all the way through. So if you were to see it on this side, I'm grabbing through, and that's because my ignore backfacing is unchecked. If I had it checked, I would just be grabbing the first 3. So just keep that in mind as you see. As I'm like going through it and grabbing these verts, I'm actually grabbing through. Alright, so we're just gonna match, we're just gonna match this up. I'm grabbing these verts. And let's go ahead and bring this down, or at least this one down a bit. Something like that. I'm gonna kind of tuck that about right there. And if it helps, I'm actually gonna grab these and just kind of line them up to that. And we can use this one just up a little bit. Alright, so there we go so far. Now what I'm going to do is kind of shape that tail out. So I'm going to go to my Alt W here, and I'm going to deselect so I can grab, actually I'm on it, so I'm going to right click, hide unselected, hit Alt X so you can see what's going on. Alright, so what I'm going to do is shape out this plane a little bit, the tail. So I'm going to grab these 3 verts, which I'm highlighting all the way through, and I'm going to actually take my scale tool and I'm just kind of tucking those in slightly like that to straighten them out a bit. Alright, everything looks pretty good from here. As you can see, our plane's starting to shape up. Alright, the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bridge a lot of this together here. And bridge, basically, the tool is exactly what it does. It bridges, it builds another plane, like it bridges it right across. So I'm going to take my edge here, one edge here. I'm holding down Control, I'm grabbing this edge. If you come down, I'm in edge mode. You see bridge right there. I'm going to click the settings, the box, dialog box. Click that. And then as you can see, it bridges. Here, let me move these out the way a little bit. It bridges our two edges. Now, if you, with this still open, if I hold down Control, grab that edge, and then the opposite edge, it bridges that too. Now hold down Control, I grab that one while I'm still holding Control key. That bridges there. I'm going to bridge these two. I'm going to bridge these two. And then I'm going to bridge this one as well. But I'm not going to close that one. I'm going to leave that open for now. Alright, now, what I'm going to do now is just hit your OK mark. Just hit OK and everything's fine. It's all bridged together. Now what I'm going to do is actually select this one edge right here. So I'm going back to my left. I'm going to unhide my, my reference images here. Now with that edge selected, I have it selected. Notice I have an edge here, an edge here, an edge here. So it's like an edge here. So it's almost like 3 edges. So I'm going to kind of keep that in mind as I shift drag. When I hold down shift, you see I'm duplicating that edge. And let me show you it from another angle as well. So if you look at the perspective here, that's the tail. But I'm going here on my left. If I hold down shift, I'm duplicating that edge. Hold down shift again, I'm letting it go. Hold down shift here, and then I'm letting it go. But as you can see, I'm matching. I know there's going to be a vert here, so I'm going to match there. I'll hold down shift here. Right there. And then I'm going to go one more time to match that. And then I'm going to shift drag all the way to about right there. Alright, so I'm actually going to click on this, hide unselected, and Alt W so you can see what's going on. Basically, that's true edge looping right there, where you shift drag. A lot of character models are done this way, like if you're modeling character faces. And usually when I model intricate objects of some sort, I may tend to use this technique a lot, actually. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to take this one edge right here, or I can grab any edge. It really doesn't matter. I can grab it from here, I can grab it from here, it doesn't matter. Wherever I grab it from. Because what I'm going to do is ring it. When I ring it, it rings everything. So it grabs everything, all those edges. And that's why we left that opening right there. Because we don't want to try, we want to keep it a quad. So I'll do that again. I'm going to hit an edge, ring it, and it rings it all the way down. And I'm going to hit connect. And that basically connects those edges together. And I'm just going to hit OK. Now you can see we have an edge that's gone all the way through. So now I'm going to start welding and stitching this up. So I'm going to take this vert right here, and grab that, go turn on target weld, and I'm just going to click target weld there. Alright, so then I'm going to take this one, target weld there. As you can see, that little daisy chain, I'm walking around my model, click, and you see this little daisy chain, and then I'm going to click there, target weld there. Alright, now, as you can see, we're going to start stitching this guy up. Alright, from here, I'm just going to actually take my border and cap that off. Now, it looks like it's a try, but remember, we have a 4 spot here. That's a quad. 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is actually, we're going to start stitching this up and closing everything off. So, what I am going to do is we're going to take this edge, as you can see, and this edge. I'm going to bridge the two. I'm going to grab this edge, hold down Control, bridge this edge. There we go. I can take this edge, whoops, hold down Control when you're doing that. Grab this edge, bridge it to this edge. You can do something like that. But now we're stuck with a try. We'll figure this out in a second here. Alright, so on this side, I'm going to hit OK. Technically, I probably don't need that little spot right there. We can actually build it all the way down, but that's alright. We'll work with it. Alright, so I'm going to take this edge, and I'm going to bridge those across. Hold down Control, I'm bridging those. Bridge these. Alright, looking pretty good. And then let's go ahead and hit OK. We can actually, I believe, is this a 4 spot? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can just cap those off. So I'm going to hit my border. Cap. Grab this border. Cap that off. Alright, our only problem here is we got this try here. It's not that big of a deal. We can technically cap that off. Let's try it out and see how it shapes up. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that border, cap it. And I'm going to grab this border and cap it off. Alright, so with that being done, I'm going to go ahead and throw a turbo smooth on here. And then I'm going to crank this up to 2 and turn on my isoline displays. That way I can just kind of see how things are shaping up, and it looks pretty good. Alright, now, you know, with this turned on, your turbo smooth, we can go to our vertex. Click this guy, showing results, and you're going to see an orange bounding cage. We can actually start taking this and working in smooth form. So I'm actually going to grab these verts right here and just kind of get my x-axis and just kind of taper it off a bit. I can probably do it to here slightly. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, the last thing I'm going to do is, you know, let's unhide everything. And as you notice, as we, when we turbo smooth something, it tends to shrink it in a bit. So this is why we start to take our verts here and just pull them up and match them up in smooth form. So we can grab these and just kind of match it up a little bit. So don't worry about it when we turn the turbo smooth off and it expands a little bit. That's okay. Alright, so I'm going to grab these and just kind of match it up a little bit more. Those. Here, we'll grab these. Grab these right here, and like I said, this is a great tool. It's always good to work in showing results with your smooth form. And we're going to grab these. We're just tweaking out the model. And we can probably grab these right here and just bring them slightly down. Alright, looks pretty good. Let me raise this up slightly. Alright, looks like we're shaping up pretty well here. We're going to add a few more details here, you know, just on the tail right here. Just because I want to, you know, just because I'm, you know, when it comes to modeling, sometimes you want to help your model out so you don't always have to rely on the turbo smooth to shape things out.